Hey guys, it's Desiree and I'm back. Are you surprised? No, because this is my channel and this is me. Okay, so today's video is obviously about me getting my first job. So basically, where I worked, we'll start with that. So I worked at the Santa set in my local mall. I think I posted about it on my Instagram. If you're not following me, go do that. Check it out. I'll put it somewhere on the screen here. I post on there pretty much every day or at least once a week. So you do get to see more of me on there and I'm more consistent on there. I worked at my local Santa set, so I was taking pictures, cashing people out, or working gate, which is just letting families in when it's their turn to see Santa. So pretty straightforward job, pretty easy. I got it through my mom's friend. So there was no interview process. I didn't have to go through any of that. I just filled out the paperwork, started work, went to the little training thing. Good times. It was a good job. Kind of. So originally, when I started the job, I was excited. My mom had worked at the Santa set before, and one of the times my mom worked there, a long time ago when she was younger, obviously, she got to dress up as an elf, and I was pumped. Because going to see Santa usually leaves a kid with good memories, fun times, unless you were the kind that screamed and cried. And dressing up as an elf for me, I was like, that'll be so fun. I'll get to hold people's babies, see little kids, spread Christmas joy, and wear a cute elf costume. I was for it. But then, turns out I didn't get to wear an elf costume. And my boss had told me, okay, here's what's going to happen. So she gave us the schedule, and the schedule didn't include the weekend. We make our schedules every week. She would make them, they would come out on Thursday for the next week. So it didn't include the weekend. So I was like, okay, fine. She said, I'll text you when I need you. Okay, cool. So I was waiting for her to text me or email me or whatever when she needed me to work. Because she hadn't done that, and it had been all week, and she didn't give me any notice or anything. So I was like, okay, cool. So then I ended up emailing her because one of the ladies I babysit for quite often had asked me to babysit. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I can babysit. I'm not working at all. She hasn't emailed me. She hasn't texted me. So I'm free to babysit. So, I was good to go. And then I emailed my boss just to be courteous, to let her know, hey, I did accept a babysitting job on Saturday. And she didn't email me back. She just didn't respond to the email. And I was like, okay, whatever. Hopefully she got it kind of deal. I guess it wasn't something you need to respond to unless you wanted to, just say, thanks for letting me know. Otherwise, it didn't really matter. So I was like, okay, cool. Go later in the week. She still hasn't emailed me at all. She hasn't said, she hasn't texted me. She said she might tell my sister. My sister hadn't heard anything while she was at work about her needing me to come in for any work. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And the lady I babysat for, or was going to babysit for, texted me back and was like, hey, I have a hair appointment, can you babysit them from this time to this time instead? So I said yes, because at this point I still don't have any other plans for the day. My boss hasn't emailed me, whatever. So I emailed my boss again for a second time and say hey, I just did a heads up, babysitting times changed. These are the times I'm working instead. And she emails me back this time and she says, well, you're scheduled Saturday this time to this time, which totally interfered with the time I was supposed to babysit. Schedule's already made. You have to figure it out. And I'm like, excuse me? So first of all, she didn't email me back the first time to say that she got what I said. She obviously didn't plan on responding to my email or sending me my schedule. So I was like, I made plans because you didn't send me my schedule, you didn't tell me you needed me to come in, you didn't give me any heads up. At this point, I was like, if I hadn't emailed you, it was Friday night, or no, I emailed her Thursday night, so it was Friday morning. If I hadn't emailed her, I wouldn't even have known to come into work because the schedule wasn't posted online, no one emailed me, no one texted me. So I was like, we wouldn't even have known to come in, and obviously she had no intent of emailing me and telling me. The only reason she did email me was because I did say I had other plans. So I was super offended and at this point annoyed because now I had to try and figure out what I was going to do because I had already agreed to babysit, but now I'm on the schedule for work. I don't know anyone at work. I've never worked before, so I'm not like really comfortable asking anyone to cover my shift. But also, it's my first shift, so why would I want to ask someone to cover it? Like, that's weird and really not a great first impression. But besides the point, the lady I was babysitting for ended up canceling, so that worked out well. I went to work, it was fine, whatever. But I was like obviously annoyed. So like now my first impression of this job, it's like, well, this is gonna suck. Like I'm annoyed, I'm like offended, whatever. So I go to work the first day, it was good, whatever. My first shift was all day. I worked 10 to 5, I think. Like I worked like all day, like from when we opened to when we closed, I worked the whole time. Basically my entire like first impression of the job sucked. So fast forward later, the next week I like text her, I'm like, oh hey, like do you like post the schedule? Can you send me the schedule? Like something. And she's like, I'll send you the schedule this time, but I don't normally send people the schedule. The schedules will be put out on Thursday, so they'll be like at the set on Thursday, and it's your responsibility to go like take a picture of them. And I'm again like, excuse me? Because first of all, where I live is like a 20-minute drive to, probably like more than that, like anywhere from like 20 minutes to like half an hour from where I work. So why, if I'm not scheduled to work, why would I drive in to the mall to take a picture of my schedule to drive all the way home? Like why would I do that? Why? It's so easy to just email me a picture, or we have like a Facebook page, just like post a schedule on the Facebook page for everyone. Like what? I've never met anyone whose like boss has them go to work just for the schedule every time the new schedule comes out. Especially considering our new schedules came out once a week. Like once a week I was supposed to drive in and get my schedule, plus go in every time I was scheduled to work. So I was super annoyed then too. I was like, whatever. I ended up figuring it out, and like I worked pretty much every week, so it was like fine, but it was just like awful. Like I was super annoyed in the beginning. I was like, I don't like this job at all. Like not that I don't like it, but like I was like, I wanted to like this job, but basically right now I'm getting is a lot of hassle from it. Like just way too much. So I was annoyed, but it's fine, whatever. I go through the job, it's chill. One of like the times that really stuck out to me was towards the end of one of my shifts. I had worked the closing shift, and once we get to a certain time we have to go put a sign out that tells people they can't get in line anymore. And it's probably the hardest part of my job because, or probably was the hardest part of my job, because people don't like to be told they can't get in line, especially when they've come to the mall just specifically to see Santa. And obviously it's not my fault and it's not their fault, but I mean sometimes it's their fault, but whatever, besides the point. So they don't like being told no, and they're like rude to me a lot of the times. So it was like the last people in line was this like young, I guess he wasn't like young, there was like this dad, his son, and his like girlfriend, and they were just so cute, such a cute little family. And like, so like after like telling a lot of people like, okay, like you gotta like go home and like not bother me because you can't get in line, the dad like looks at me and was like, oh, you know, like you're really good at your job, and like I wouldn't be able to do that, like it's good that like you're good at like this, and you know, you handle it well, having people like talk to you like that and having to tell them no. And it was just like, it made me happy because like after dealing with all these people who are like rude to me or like fight with me, it's nice to have someone to compliment me on that, because like people don't understand, like working customer service is the worst job ever. I knew that, and I'm always like, ever since I was little, like going out, like I'm always really courteous to like my waiters and like just like my customer service people. Like I'm really nice to them because like I understand like it's a rough job, especially when people are rude to you, but like you do not understand the extent of it until you work it, and then you're like, whoa. And like working at a Santa set, people are like 10 times worse than they usually are at customer service like places. Like I don't know, like I don't know what it is, they're so rude. So like that was just like a really nice thing to hear. So it's just like seeing people like that, or like one time I had to like bring the sign out, and the last lady in line had like told me like, oh, if you want to go like work over there, like I can like bring the sign up for you. And they're just like really generous, and they offer to do things whether or not like they need to. One time our sign broke and it almost like fell and hit a lady. Like it was just like a stand-up sign. It was because like the screw on the bottom was loose, and this like random guy in the mall that was like walking by was like, oh, what happened? And I was like, oh, like the sign fell over. And he like took it like, I don't know, he had like a tool like on his keychain, and he like flipped the sign over and was like, and tightened it for me, like so the sign wouldn't fall over, and like just basically fixed the sign. And I was like, okay, like where do you want this? And he was like so nice, and like that kind of stuff. Like you do working in customer service, you see a lot of really nice people like that, so that was really cool. So basically that is how my job went. It was pretty good. Not the best job in the world. Don't know if I would ever do it again. I haven't decided yet, and luckily I don't have to decide until next year. And until then I am looking for like another part-time job, and hopefully one that is less stressful. And yeah, so hopefully that like helped you guys if you're thinking of getting a job or you are having a job. I don't know how that would help you. I guess like, I don't know. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Yeah, otherwise, thank you for watching. You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will post another video at some point. Peace out.